This week, our chapter was on the history of movies, the way that movies came about, evolved over the years, and I was actually really surprised to find out some of the people that played a role in that, such as Thomas Edison. That surprised me. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it did. And the way that Hollywood came about as being, I think it was like maybe 65% of the movies were filmed in Hollywood. Um, about a few years into the filming, simply because Hollywood offered a landscape with mountains and deserts and water, and it had just everything there that was needed to film outside, as opposed to, I think, like in the beginning, Chicago, and I may be wrong, but I think it was Los Angeles was another one that. No, it's New York. That those two places were the major filming places, and then Hollywood became that, and kind of centered around. I suppose that's why all the stars are centered there, and why they're all there now, and why Hollywood's such a big place. But I just never realized that before. The other part that was interesting to me was the silent film. The silent films, I've never been a big fan of silent films, of course, and I would not be expected to be probably at my age, but I just always, the ones that I have seen were kind of boring and not very, I guess some of them, I think I have saw one that was funny, but I kind of felt sorry for the people that had to watch silent films, but evidently that was a big booming thing there for a while. And then when they started adding sound to the movies, they went from single reel to double reel, and they started adding sound to the movies and all, that kind of sparked people's interest and got them coming back. And the one thing that hurt the most was the television, the creation or the ability of people to have television in their homes, because I read in the chapter that a lot of people, the majority of people would go to a movie, an actual theater, a movie once a week, and once the television came about, that all kind of ceased, and people could get off work and stay home and watch TV there. This entire chapter was interesting to me. The whole thing was interesting to me. It was interesting to me to find out that 3D was an early creation or an early thing, and then it made a comeback. It has made a comeback, and I kind of thought, that was a newer thing. I mean, I know there's been 3D movies forever, but kind of a newer thing. I had no idea that actually was one of in the beginning, and just made a comeback. Also the animated characters, I did not realize that A Bug's Life and I'm trying to think of the others, Toy Story I think it was, and there's another one that my children all we went to, and I was surprised to find out that my kids were actually a part of that, being in that coming about, the animated movies. And nowadays, there's just so much that they can do with everything. I mean, it's just amazing. Another thing that was kind of funny to me was the fact that moving things on screen would actually scare people, and to the point that they would get up and run out of the theater because maybe a train was coming towards the screen or whatever. And that was kind of interesting to me also. I found that interesting that people were so, I don't know, we are just so much more adaptable and so much more advanced now than we were years ago. The movies, the producers and the companies that monopolized and controlled the industry for so long, that part was also interesting to me. These are just things that you never think about when you are watching television or watching a movie or whatever. You just don't think about the way that we came to have these things, and now they're so accessible to everyone, and everyone has the ability to watch movies, play games, and all. And so I find this class interesting because of that. I mean, that as we talked about before, the history of music. The way that the movies have came about, the history of movies, the way they've evolved over the years and all. it's just a very interesting thing that I don't think that I would have ever actually read about or looked up or anything had I not taken this class. So I just I find this class very interesting, and I hope that I continue to learn more throughout the semester, and I'm sure I will. Thank you.